Consequently, the United States cannot support the adoption of this resolution. We regret that the United States must once again remind this body that the United Nations exists to maintain international peace and security. It was not founded to advance narrow, specific interests and agendas, to establish niche international days, or to create new costly meeting and reporting mandates. This resolution does all three. The United States has defined long-standing objectives to the framing of reparatory justice and the duty of reparation for historical wrongs. While we acknowledge the horrors of the past, we do not accept this resolution's assertion that historical facts from the 15th through 19th century constitute violations of jus cogens, as the term is understood in contemporary international law. The United States also does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred. In addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be. The drafters and supporters of this resolution seem to believe it is them. The United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point in an attempt to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims. As stated at the outset of these negotiations, the United States also strongly objects to the resolution's attempt to rank crimes against humanity in any type of hierarchy. The assertion that some crimes against humanity are less severe than others objectively diminishes the suffering of countless victims and survivors of other atrocities throughout history. This is not a competition. This attempted ranking is also simply incorrect as a matter of law. The United States would also like to express disappointment in the arbitrary historical perspective of the text. Trafficking in African slaves began long before the 15th century and sadly continued even after the 19th. These dates were clearly selected for political reasons rather than historical accuracy. All trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans deserve to be condemned, not merely the political expedient. Also, there are some fake news articles suggesting that the sponsors of this resolution called into question President Trump's support of the Black community. We reject any such suggestions. Indeed, President Trump has done more for Black Americans than any other president and enjoyed historic support from the Black community in the 2024 election. He is working tirelessly to deliver for them and make our country greater than ever. Finally, we must express our deep disappointment regarding the process that led to this text. Throughout drafting, the United States and other delegations offered constructive contributions aimed at aligning the text with the established international legal frameworks. These contributions were ignored. For these reasons, the United States will vote no on this resolution. Thank you.
Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, so you have the United Nations who have now deemed the transatlantic slave trade as the worst crime against humanity. All right, but of course nothing came of it. All right, you Israelites, especially you Negroes out there who think you're going to get some type of reparations or Esau going to break some type of bread with you. All right, that's not within his spirit, man. They don't have a conscience, no matter how wicked, or, what level the atrocity that they've committed is on. They don't give a fuck, you know. And it shows that the nations are against you, man. All right, because when I seen this video, I thought about it. If the Israelites, were considered a nation of people on the earth, and we had an army or was some type of military, we would go get that. Whenever when Esau wants something or he feel like somebody owe him something, and that's how all the nations are, all the heathen nations, they go to war and they go get it. All right, but we don't have that capability. You Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, we don't have that capability because we don't have any force on this earth. All right, our power lies in the heavens. Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shah. All right, so Jake waiting on reparations and shit. You know, feeling like they're part of this place. They just showed you right there because the decision they came to was nah. We ain't giving them shit. And what you gonna do about it, nigga? What you gonna do? You got Jake out here, with his, you know, all his beliefs and all that type of shit, but you powerless, man. And that's how Yahweh Bashim Yahweh made it. Because we not supposed to have no power without him. He's our power. So, you gonna see niggas on the social media crying and shit, oh, this bullshit. But it's the Lord showing you we ain't shit without him. You really think the heathen nations are gonna come together and give some type of reparations to a nation they hate? They hate us. That's why you have no representation over there at the UN, man. All right, but Psalms 83:3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. All right, that's that UN shit, man. All these nations may beef amongst each other, but they in league. They have one consent when it comes to keeping the damn Israelites oppressed. Niggas ain't getting no reparations, nigga. You crazy? You know, the kingdom of heaven is promised to the Israelites. That's if you want to say reparations. Yahweh Shai is the reparations. All right, but 2/3 of our people in this place ain't gonna, listen. They don't believe in that. Believe in Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai. So they gonna perish. All right, but the elect, all right, the hopeful elect is those who gonna receive everything, man. It's nothing Esau can give us in return for, the atrocities they've committed that can compare to the kingdom of heaven. Don't want that shit. Whatever they got, we don't want it. Not to mention everything you got is ours anyway. All right, like I said, Edris thou has made the world for our sake. All right, you living on borrowed time, man. All right, but these nations have taken a crafty counsel against the Israelites, man, and that's what the UN is, man. And once again, man, you see, you you don't have any representation, man. All right, scriptures say that they hate the Most High, and of course they hate His children, man. All right, but prophecy is still gonna come to pass, and the Israelites are still gonna receive the kingdom of heaven. All right, they have taken crafty counsel against thy hidden ones, or pardon me, against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That's why you have no representation at the United Nations. Oh, I care about your black ass. You just over here crying and shit. Somebody, we got the power of heaven, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua created heaven and earth to call upon, for everything, man. But Jake's still in that spirit where if Esau don't help us, we just gonna continue to be destitute. And man, like I said before, he ain't got nothing we want, man. And anything you got is ours anyway. All right, but let us cut them off from being a nation. You're not even considered a nation of people. The real Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, natives. You seen the chart. We not considered a nation of people in this current state. So that's why they over there holding a meeting about your ass, and you ain't even present. Nobody there to speak for you. You know that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That's why you a Negro, you a Jamaican, you a Cuban, a Puerto Rican, a Mexican, Panamanian, all this bullshit, man. They ain't gonna tell you the tribes, all right? But Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, put the knowledge on the earth, all right? Hey, the scripture say he was gonna set us in order in front of their eyes, man. All right, and even if they were, let's say they were to give reparations to, because this is mainly a conversation as it regards to the Southern Kingdom, so-called Negroes. All right, let's say it did happen. All right, that nigga still going into slavery. Yeah, it ain't gonna stop nothing. Oh well, in front of the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, well, we did give him some money, so maybe we can work something out. No, most I ain't with that shit. Can't pay Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai off, so it don't matter, you know. But this is just very telling, man. It shows, as we've already known, but it shows, Psalms 83, it's real, man. All right, the name of Israel is no longer in remembrance. That's how you know them folks over there now ain't the people. Scriptures say, we will fall away from our heritage, not be over there in the land doing some wild shit like, Amalek is over there doing. All right, so for all you niggas that got hope in this place and things gonna get better, you plumb damn dumb, man. They don't like you, man. And they not supposed to. Most High ain't make us to be all cool with the nations and kicking it and shit. Most High, everything he told us as far as the law, as I speak on the law, was to separate us from them. So all this, joining hands and all this shit, man. They showing you right here they don't fuck with you. Especially you dumbass Judah. Niggas is dumb. So-called Negro, you stupid. They don't like you, man. I don't like your black ass either, man. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no longer be in existence, man. All right. This is Judith 5:20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. That's why we in this state right now. All right? Because the heathen know that. The heathen know who the Israelites are in the world. They know it ain't them folks over there in the land currently. But they know that their only shot at survival is to keep us away from Yahweh Bash and Yahweh Shai. That's why everything that this man, speaking on Esau, all right, devises in this place is to keep you doing some left-hand side shit to anger the Heavenly Father. But Esau doesn't understand the concept, if you want to say, of the elect, that the Most High chose spirits from the beginning. So prophecy is going to continue to come to pass. So these niggas that you got doing all this wild shit, okay, that's cool, But it's not going to stop prophecy, man. You're not going to upset prophecy. All right. It says, this verse 21, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by. Lest their Lord defend them, and their power before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. And that's what's going to happen to all you heathen nations. Chiefly Esau, our number one enemy, but all you nations. You're going to become a reproach before all the world. Because as Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai say, he's going to give us a new heart, man. Which, take away the fleshly heart. No, take away the stony heart and give us a fleshly heart, which is going to make us perfect, and we're not going to be able to fall away from him. So what does that mean for you? All you nations. All right? Which mean you about to just get whooped for eternity, man. That's what it mean. So, all these reparations, man, keep that shit, man. I don't want shit from you, man. Reparations. What you gonna do, man? You niggas, even if you get reparations, you ain't gonna do nothing but get them the money back, because Jake don't own nothing. Triple say we gonna go to them for the one of all things. So whether you a poor nigga or you a rich nigga, you still within this system going to them for the one of all things. You give every Jake $1 million, it's gonna be gone, man. Jake gonna buy some cars, some clothes, jewelry, trick on some women. Jake ain't gonna do nothing with the money because we still up under their rule anyway. You can be oppressed. You can have $5 million and still be oppressed. Look at that nigga, Kanye. That's why that nigga always tripping and shit, because he know he oppressed. No matter how much he climbs the ladder, the financial ladder in this place. Depending on how old you is, if you remember Tupac. As I speak on, the Jakes that had a little money in this place. He was rich and shit and famous, but that nigga was always complaining because he knew he was still getting oppressed, man. So the money is not the issue. All right, for all you niggas that's waiting for another handout for Esau, it's not the issue. The issue is Israel, all right, is not aligned with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua at this moment, as I speak on the whole nation. That's why this is continuing to happen. But as I said before, prophecy is gonna pass. And the Israelites are gonna inherit the kingdom of heaven, whether Esau brings some bread with you or not, man. All right. Psalms 83:5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. To be confederate against somebody, all right, well, to be confederate is for some two or more parties to be in league with each other, to have some type of agreement. All right. So their agreement is fuck the Israelites. We may fight amongst ourselves, but we gotta make sure they don't return back to Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Shai, or it's over for us. Which is gonna happen anyway. Alright? So them consulting together with one consent is what? The United Nations. When else do you see all the nations come together and speak? Alright? All the nations are against you, man. Alright? Yeah, once again, man, it'd be confederate, a covenant, an alliance, a pledge between men, a treaty to be in league, an agreement, all right, united in a league or allied. So that means all the nations are united in a league and allied against you Israelites. All right, I believe it used to be called, because it say united in a league. I believe the United Nations used to be called the League of Nations, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it used to be called the League of Nations, man. All right. For someone to be confederate, ally, accomplice, all right, to unite in a confederacy, to band together, all right, all the nations is against you, crazy, and a better ally, backer, supporter, you know, this is what these nations come together to do against the nation of Israel, man. All right, so going back to Psalms 83:3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You are not a nation. We are the nation of Israel, but as it pertains to on this planet right now, we're not considered a nation. We don't, you know what I mean? You don't sit at the table with the nations. There's no Negro Latino, Native American representation there. And this is exactly what the scriptures is talking about, man. All right, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. All right, and they're gonna continue to do so until Yahweh, Barshim Yahushai, all right, judge this place, man. So as far as reparations go, man, get over that shit, man. You ain't getting it, nigga. You're not getting no reparations. They're not giving you no money. They're not apologizing to you. They're not gonna try to make things right with you. Because us being oppressed and being at the bottom is the only reason that they are thriving right now. All right, but I ain't gonna hold you. I hope that video was edifying. Shalom.